Why, hello there. And it's a new year, I suppose. Look, 2022 has not been a great start for a lot of people, so why not start things with a bit of a good old $5 shake. This is an XC trail out at Epsom / Huntley, and it is up there as one of my top 3 favourite trails out here in the bush. We just start things off by going through the hairpin climb. You more or less get your worst climb out of the way with, and then you get into some of the really good stuff with the $5 shake. Half of you might be wondering why it's called $5 shake. The other half of you are nodding very solemnly while looking into a briefcase that's glowing gold. And if you didn't get that reference, it's Pulp Fiction. Have I seen Pulp Fiction? No. But my fiance has, and she loves the references of some of the Pulp Fiction tracks out here in Epsom. Now this little windy bit here has always had that branch down as a bit of a bump to throw you off balance before you're heading into that tight right-hander. And this top part here, before we start descending again, has some of the most varied terrain with loose rocks and pebbles, really dry, loose on hardpack, plain old hardpack, and sometimes loam, which is strange. As we round this corner, there's a chicken line off to the right, little bit of a rock drop on the main, and then this is where it starts to go really loose, and really pebbly as you try to stay on the power for a good paced lap. But this is just a commentary lap, so no heroics here. But with that little bit of a loose dipper out of the way, the trail starts to open up and you get into your first proper descent of the segment. As we round this corner, a bit of throttle, now there is some cambering, but it's not enough to save you at higher speeds. You start to weave your way around, a bit of a blind right-hander into a left, bit of off camber just to throw you back out on the outside. That's our climb back out in just a moment. By coming up blind, sharp chicane, and then there's some really loamy sort of soil that always sits at the bottom, that if your wheel grabs it wrong, it almost OTBs you, and all it is just soil. It is the strangest thing. But we now start the minor climb compared to the climb that we had at the beginning. There's our descent where we just came down. And this part here is pretty sensible. Just some trees on the inside and outside to keep you honest, so you can't really run wide. But it also means if you're riding in a pack of mates, it's actually pretty tricky to get an overtaking opportunity, especially with that cambered corner there that's nice and loose and loamy. Fairly sensible straight. Then there's this really drifty corner here where my front wheel started to wash out even at this fairly minor speed. And we're going to make our final run to the finish, where during the springtime, this part here, so this entire part that looks like it's just got bush scrub, is actually a field full of orchids during the spring. It is really beautiful. Sometimes the TNBC will just stop right here in the middle of the segment, pull our bikes off to the side, and just go hunting for orchids. We found a few crimson sun orchids, but it's mainly just egg and bacons, some chocolate lilies, and some wax lips. And just some really loose sandy corners right here at the end. Power up on this straight here and exit off onto the road. And that is the $5 shake. Well, we're going to go and film the next segment, but until next time, keep riding and stay awesome.